Hola, mi amo Brock. Mi industrial revolucionó número 3. Mi industrial revolucionó impacto medicina. So, essentially, what do you think when you think of the word ultrasound? You think of, please, okay. You think of babies. So, and because that's what you think of most of the time, because women get their pregnancy test to see if the baby's doing healthy, if it's a boy or a girl, all that stuff. But it's used for a lot of other things too. One other example is it is also used for checking your veins. If you have blood problems, and you can check to see if like you have a blood clot or something. Now, how the ultrasound machine works, what it does is it hits you with radiation and hits you with sound waves. Now, what the sound waves do is they go through your skin. They go through your skin. It needs a little bit of help, but we'll get to that in a minute. It goes through your skin until it hits a bone or something. It cannot pass through bones because bones are too thick, they're too dense. It can't get through it. So it bounces back up and pops up an image. So, now, there's a lot of ways you can get an ultrasound. There's a lot of reasons why you would need an ultrasound. That we're not going to go into because I have there's a slight time frame I got to work with. So, what is essentially you would do if you do need to get an ultrasound for whatever reason, like a basic ultrasound, your doctor will be like, hey, you're going to need an ultrasound this time, this day. We're going to need you here for this part of your body. You're good to go once that day comes. But there is a few steps you have to take before. There's only one step actually, but before you get your ultrasound. We have to do at least 12 hours before you come in, you cannot eat anything because food in your digestive system is thick enough and dense enough to where it can block the ultrasound waves and it'll bounce back and it'll get a completely fuzzy picture, weird picture. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna be what you want. Then that is $500 you're never gonna see again. So you cannot eat for 12 hours. Drinking water is fine because water is not dense enough, obviously, for it to get through sound waves, so you're fine. And so once that's done, you go to that day, you haven't eaten anything, you go to the hospital. First thing you know, bam, you are getting in a hospital gown because things like jackets, they have metal, and this metal is, while it doesn't seem like it is thick enough to block ultrasound waves, therefore ruining the picture. So you take off your clothes, and then you you put on a hospital gown because hospital gowns are thin. Anyway, so yeah, they're thin enough where it can get through easily, no problem whatsoever. Then after you put the gown on, hospital gown, what they do is they put on lubricating jelly. You want to know what it's used for? It helps get rid of friction. So the ultrasounds can get through your skin better. Let's go off track for a second. We as humans have invented a jelly that can stop friction, essentially. Why haven't we used this in the wars? We just goop up the area, the enemy slip and fall. Why haven't we done this? Is it expensive? I don't know, I didn't get that far into this research. But it's whatever, we're gonna ignore that terrifying thought for a second. Anyway, so then once they put the lubricating jelly on you, then they put you on a bed, or as I like to call it, experimentation table. And then, sorry, that was weird. Then they put you on the bed, and then you just lay there for about 30 minutes when the machine will come along and just scan you, and scan you, and scan you, and scan you. Anyway, then after that, 30 minutes is done. You got your ultrasound, and then they take off the jelly, change back into your normal clothes, and you're free to go. Like nothing ever happened. You can go get McDonald's like it ain't nobody's business. It's quite amazing, really. It's like, if we think about it, it's this machine, not huge, but like this machine that can look inside you, just takes 30 minutes to do so. Sure, it needs a little bit of help, but other than that, that's all you gotta do. And for a machine that uses radiation on you, there's not very many precautions. Now, I know what you might be thinking. So, why won't the radiation hurt you? Isn't radiation the worst thing on earth? Well, yes and no. There are essentially two types of radiation. To keep it basic, there is harmful radiation and there is safe radiation to us. And that's other things, everything's harmful anyway. But us as humans, we can handle a certain amount of radiation. We are surrounded by radiation right now as we very speak. Of course, there is a little bit more radiation in some other places than others, but it's like the amount of radiation the ultrasound machine hits you with is completely safe. The amount of it that hits you is nowhere near enough to make you get cancer or something. You'll be completely fine. Nothing will hurt at all. And so now, how this ties in with revolution, at this time, this is where a whole lot of medical advances were being made. New vaccines, new surgery procedures, all that fun stuff. Ultrasound machine, it fits right into it. Like honestly, there wouldn't be a better time for it to come in. Honestly, it's an impressive work of art, and without it, there would be a whole lot more surgery need to be done, and a lot more money need to be spent. Thank goodness we have the ultrasound machine.